Hello everyone. In this topic, we will see what is cloud computing. Cloud computing is the delivery of computing services over the internet. We have the cloud service provider who is going to provide the services. There are more than 200 services which is offered by Microsoft Azure. If we are accessing those services using the internet, then it is called as public cloud. So computing services include common IT services such as virtual machines, which is commonly referred as VMs, storage, databases, and networking. There are three main core services which are compute, storage, and networking. Cloud services also expand the traditional IT offerings to include things like IoT, ML, and artificial intelligence. So now there are new services which has been added like artificial intelligence, machine learning services, and IoT services, which also can be accessed using the internet. Since cloud computing uses the internet to deliver these services, there is no need for the constraint of the physical infrastructure like you have in your traditional data center. In your traditional data center, you need to deploy all these services, which is going to take months together. Say, suppose if you wanted to deploy the services for artificial intelligence or machine learning or services for IoT, Kubernetes, it is going to take many days or months together to deploy all these services. Since the infrastructure is already available in cloud, you use the internet to access all these services. You need to pay for the services what you are going to use. And you can deploy these services rapidly. So, in summary, cloud computing is the on demand delivery of IT services. There are three main services which are called as infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service, which are all accessed by the internet. What are the benefits of cloud computing? Broad range of services. You have more than 200 plus services in Azure, including compute, storage, networking, Kubernetes, Docker, web apps. These are the services which you will be able to access, deploy, configure, and set up to run your business applications. And also, there are next gen applications which use artificial intelligence, machine learning, IoT, sensors, Kubernetes. All these services can be deployed using the cloud service provider. So, when you consume the services on cloud, how are you going to pay for the services what you have consumed? In cloud, it is called as OPEX model, which is nothing but operational expenditure model. In traditional data center, it is called as capital expenditure model because we have to deploy the hardware, software licenses, and also we need to have our own facility. Either it can be rented facility or it can be co-location, but we need to have some kind of facility where we can place our hardware, servers, storage, and networking. On top of this, we have to buy the licenses for the operating system and applications what we are going to use. Whereas in the cloud, it is operational expenditure model. You use the services and you pay for what you are going to use. You use the web application, you pay for the web application. If you are running a virtual machine, you pay for the virtual machine based on per hour billing charges. And rapid deployment. Build, deploy, and consume the services with less time. If you wanted to build the same services in your data center, it is going to take days or months together. Whereas in cloud, all these services are available. You need to use the console or CLI to access all these services and deploy these services for your application or your business requirement. Rapid elasticity. In cloud, it is very easy to scale up or scale down the resources. Resources are nothing but the CPU, memory, and disk. If I wanted to increase or decrease the CPU speed, which is gigahertz, I can increase or I can decrease for the virtual machine. And if I wanted to increase or decrease the memory, I can increase or decrease. The disk size, I can increase or decrease. This is nothing but scale up and scale down. If I am decreasing, it is called as scale down. If I am increasing the resources for a virtual machine, then it is scale up. Scale out and scale in is basically adding more compute power, more virtual machines. So I add more virtual machines, it is scale out. And if I am decreasing the virtual machine count, then it is scale in. For example, if I wanted to increase the size of the virtual machine, say this virtual machine is B2 standard. I wanted to increase the size of the virtual machine of B2 standard by adding more CPU and more memory. So this is scale up. So I am increasing the memory or the CPU. If I have some big billion day sale, okay, so there are too much of traffic. So let us say there is a sale for my e-commerce platform, and I wanted to add more virtual machines based on the demand. So I add virtual machines. So I wanted to add more virtual machines based on the demand for my e-commerce sale. So I have added virtual machine 1 to virtual machine 100. Say for example, August 15th for Independence Day sale, and till August 31st we have the sale. So I will retain the virtual machines 1 to 100 because I have the sale going on from these dates. So once the sale is done in my e-commerce platform, I will decrease because there is no demand anyway. I am going to decrease this to 25. So virtual machine 1 to 25. So the rest of the virtual machine, 75 virtual machines, I can remove or delete. This is nothing but scale in. So I have removed the virtual machine. This is scale in. I have added the virtual machine. This is scale out. So this was an overview of the cloud computing, and these are some of the benefits when you use the cloud service provider. It can be Microsoft Azure, AWS, or Google. Thank you for watching the video. If you like the content, please subscribe and share the video. Thank you and take care.